What's going on, everyone? Badger here. Should have like and sub, and let's get into this. For the longest time, I mean, all the way back is we're going to find out from 2023, we all thought for some reason that there was going to be a full reset after Secret Wars for the MCU, meaning everything that had happened before, more or less, wasn't going to count. I think we all thought Fantastic Four was going to be the first movie debuted after that, in which case we'd have a full unified world with the Fantastic Four and the X-Men, and now we know we're not getting that. The Russo brothers, of course, came back. Robert Downey Jr. came back. We find out that wasn't necessarily their decision, and too long didn't read, soft reboot at best. This is a real they want their cake and they're going to eat it too type situation. Joe Russo describing it as a new beginning. So there's definitely going to be some things, obviously, that will be different and unified, but not the way we were thinking. So here's one of the Russos saying, what's compelling about these two new Avengers movies is that they are a beginning. It's a new beginning. So we told an ending story, and now we're telling a beginning story. And then who knows where we'll go from there. We didn't know what our road forward was in the MCU after we finished Endgame. We weren't sure what it was, and what happened was a creative idea just came to us, and that ended up feeling like the right idea. So it motivated us to do it again. I mean, that bucket loads of money, and the fact that phase 4 was failing abysmally. Feige was just throwing any woke project that had a woman in it, preferably melanated, against the wall to see what would stick. And spoiler, none of them stuck. You saw the Russo brothers also saying they want to return to a focused narrative, i.e. they wanted it to make sense. We feel like we have something fresh. We feel like we have a story that's important to be told. We have an amazing group of collaborators again, some old, some new, and we're just very excited. It's a difficult movie. There's a lot of expectations. And of course, it's two movies because they're shooting Doomsday and Secret Wars back to back. This is also where we find out that it was Kevin Feige's idea to bring back Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom. That was Kevin. And interesting enough, that conversation was had a while ago. And then Robert Downey Jr. tried to talk to us about doing it, and we said no, weirdly, because we said we wouldn't come back. We just didn't have a story. We didn't have a way in. So we were resistant for a while. And of course, now we have the way in, a Dr. Doom that is completely unrelated to the actual Fantastic Four, doesn't even know Reed Richards, and one that has a backstory and characters and costume design that Robert Downey Jr. is working on himself. Reportedly, all Doom is doing what was done in the comics, and he's creating a battle world to stop incursions from happening between different multiverses, and he's making different variants, cameos of different teams and groups fight against each other to see who's the best and who can remain. In Comic-Con of last year, I was told by someone in the know, Gary, that Robert Downey Jr. was actually being brought back so that he could be Stark. But if they just brought him back as Iron Man Tony Stark, it would really piss everyone off. And this gives him the chance to do a new character for a little bit before just returning to the main Tony Stark in the new timeline. Take that for the grain of salt. Who knows? A lot of things have changed since then. As the Russos continue, Steve McFreely, one of the key collaborators, says, I have an idea. And he called us to pitch, and we went, that's the story. That story has to be told. It's a really powerful story. He teased, we love villains who think they're the heroes of their own stories. That's when they become three-dimensional and become more interesting. And when you have an actor like Robert Downey Jr., you have to create a well-shaped, three-dimensional character for the audience. That's where a lot of our focus. Okay, so this just goes to, they're going to do the Demon in the Armor storyline, where a variant of Tony Stark becomes Dr. Doom, and it's going to be this Dr. Doom Tony variant that takes control, benevolent dictator style, to create battle world and force all the humans for the better good, to be all nuanced. And at the end of it, if they help him and save him and free him, he'll just go back to being a Tony Stark variant. So there you go. Of course, we've heard from 2023, this is where the whole it's resetting after Secret Wars came from, and we've just been reporting it as fact. So you can blame this guy. I no longer report that the Secret Wars is going to reset the MCU, because it's clearly not. Even Brad Winterbaum here, the current TV boss, says every time there's been a full reboot of DC in particular, and he's talking about MC too, essentially it all ends up going back to more or less the classics. Classics always come back around. It's very difficult to do a living, breathing, fictional universe to just start from scratch because of all the fan investment. So Doomsday, Secret Wars, shot at the same time by the Russos, Spider-Man in between them, and then God help us, whatever they do after Secret Wars. But not going to be fully reset. Anyway, let me know what you think about all this. Are you hardcore into apathy for Marvel at this point? Disney, Marvel? I don't know. Most are. Most see something new and just...
I don't care.
You can look at the ratings for Daredevil to see that bared out. Anyway, let me know what you think about all this. Make sure to like, share, and sub. If you have done that, thank you. If you're going to do that, thank you. And
well, bye.